Hi there, welcome back to another episode of Nature Aquariums TV, where today we're going to try to stump ChatGPT again with some harder questions. But before we get with our video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. From some of the comments, some of the stuff I've talked to, some people that watched the video, they said, hey, you gave it some pretty easy questions, and that's what we were going for. I want to clarify, our first video was to make sure if we ask some very, very basic questions. Today, we're going to narrow it down to 10 questions, but they're going to be a little bit more targeted, right? We came up with some freshwater, some saltwater questions to really try to see if we can get some specifics instead of some broad terms. As always, we're going to tally up which ones were right, which ones were wrong. But I think we're going to really make sure that we don't give it a pass unless it really passes. This is critical because we want to make sure that people are getting the right information. I also want to reiterate that to all these questions, do not rely on the computer to tell you what to do with your fish. Always rely and talk to somebody in the field, your trusted local LFS, or go to forums and get a collective of answers to double check the information. I don't want you relying. ChatGPT should not be relied for legal advice, marital advice, relationship advice, or anything else, work advice, and I would not rely on it 100% for keeping your fish alive. With that being said, we're going to jump in. We're going to go through some of these questions. Oh, and by the way, we're using the 4.0 version, so that is the latest version accessible to us. Ethan, this is one that I think we've heard before, and it's right up your alley.
Question: how difficult is it to keep seahorses as a pet? Chat says keeping seahorses as pets can be quite challenging, primarily due to their specific care requirements and sensitive nature. Here's why seahorses are considered difficult to keep in aquariums. 6 reasons. Alright, so specialized habitat is 1. Seahorses need a calm, stable environment with gentle water flow and plenty of places to anchor with their tails, like seagrass or artificial holdfasts. They do poorly in a tank with strong current or with aggressive fish that might outcompete them for food. Number 2 would be water quality. Like many marine creatures, seahorses require meticulously maintained water conditions with specific temperature, pH, and salinity. They are particularly sensitive to water changes, quality, and easily become stressed by pollutants or fluctuations, which makes regular water testing and changes essential. 3 would be diet and feeding. Seahorses eat live food, primarily small crustaceans like brine shrimp. They need to eat frequently, usually several times a day, because they have no stomach and food passes through their digestive system quickly. Number 4, health issues. Seahorses are susceptible to a variety of health issues, including bacterial infections, skin parasites. They often require treatment that can be difficult for novice aquarists to manage properly. Number 5 would be breeding. Seahorses can breed in captivity, which might seem like an advantage, but it also poses additional challenges. The care of fry baby seahorses is extremely difficult, as they need an even smaller live food and more frequent feeding. Number 6, conservation and ethical considerations. Many seahorses species under threat in their natural habitats due to overfishing and habitat loss. While captive bred seahorses are available and are more ethical choice, their trade needs to be carefully managed to avoid contributing to the decline of wild populations. Due to these factors, seahorses are generally recommended for more experienced aquarists who have the time, resources, and dedication to meet their complex needs.
Oh, that was a mouthful.
Yeah, that was a lot. Nothing that it say there was wrong, so it did pass. It gave you an understanding. I mean, if you're buying an animal to begin with, I don't think just reading one article should be the reason why you buy or don't buy something. So always do your research, but good information. It gave you what you needed to hear. Stable tank, the right food, which would be in most cases live, things to anchor down on, the flow needs to be under control, nothing that can pick at them or outcompete them. And it did tell you basically, yeah, you should probably go for aquacultured ones as well. So
right. I think it summarized the bullet points. I think it's a pass. It's a thin pass, but I think it's a pass.
It's a pass.
So we have a freshwater one. How does KH impact my freshwater aquarium? For those of you watching at home, KH means carbonate hardness. KH, or carbonate hardness, plays a crucial role in maintaining the stability and health of freshwater aquarium. Here's how it impacts your aquarium environment. It refers to the concentration of carbonate and bicarbonate ions in water, which serve as a buffer to stabilize the pH levels in your aquarium. A higher KH helps prevent rapid pH changes, which can stress or harm fish and plants. Sudden pH swings can be dangerous, and maintaining a stable KH can help avoid such fluctuations. I think that pretty much summarizes what KH is. So good job on that. Many freshwater fish and plant species have specific KH requirements. Fish from environments like the Amazon River, where water is softer, a lower KH, may struggle in high KH condition, while those from African Great Lakes thrive in higher KH levels. Matching the KH to the needs of your aquarium inhabitants is essential for the health and well-being. That is correct. I'm going to say this, guys. Learn more about the fish's KH requirements and try to match that to when acclimating your fish is far more important than pH, because a pH test kit is also measuring the amount of dissolved carbon dioxide in the water, tannins in the water, so you can still have a KH of 3 in your tank if you have tannins, right? Depending on time of day, you may have a lower pH, but in reality, it's the KH that the fish feel, because it regulates osmotic regulation. Ensuring the KH is appropriate for your specific aquarium setup helps in creating a stable and healthy environment for your aquatic life. What do you think?
I give chat a pass for that.
Yeah, I think this is a solid pass, guys. Really well summarized for someone new and not understanding what KH is. Got a good reef question there.
All right, are there any reef-safe angelfish? Number 1, coral beauty. No. No, they're not reef-safe. They're known to actually nip at corals. I think the only reason why it is recommending it is because it is small. And that's what it does say. It's because they're a smaller species. They're less likely to do big harm on, let's say you have a 250-gallon tank and you're filled with coral, a small little coral beauty that's like 4 inches, it's not going to be able to destroy your reef by itself. But no, it won't actually just leave coral alone. Some species, or like some individuals, like it stated earlier, may leave it alone, and then some will not. But it is not known as technically a true reef-safe angel, so I give that one a thumbs down. Flame angels, that's another one. It's in the same family as the coral beauty. Because of its size, no, it won't destroy your reef. It's the same. They're the same size. They're both 4-inch, 5-inch max angels. They can't destroy a huge reef, but let's say you put them in a 50-gallon tank, you may be
with a freshly started off reef. You're gonna have issues.
Cherub angels, yeah, just because of their size. But yet again, it's another issue. They're in the same family as the flame and the coral beauty. You'll have the same issue. It's basically small tank. I wouldn't bother with them if you really care about your corals. And that's specific corals. Some of them they may leave alone, like some euphyllias and stuff, because euphyllias can sting. Some angels may leave them alone. Some angels may eat them regardless. Doesn't matter. SPS, fish that are not reef safe absolutely will go after SPS. No matter what it is, if it's not reef safe, or even if it's semi-reef safe, they're going to go after them. It's an easy target, so they will eat them. Multicolor angels, same family as the rest that I just mentioned. Same size and everything, just different coloration. Pygmy angels, they're also in the same family, so it's funny, they just gave me 5 angels that are all in the same family. I'm going to give chat, well, actually, there's one more thing. So it says it's essentially to understand that no angelfish can be guaranteed to be completely reef safe. With that portion right there, I absolutely agree on. Even the ones that I'm telling you, like Abellus or whatever angel you can find on the internet that tells you that it's reef safe. One person will have one who will never touch their coral. The other person who buys one, it'll destroy their reef. That's kind of how it is with angels. Basically, what are you willing to lose? And that's basically how you base getting an angel if it's in a reef tank. So I will give ChatGPT thumbs down for this.
It's a fail.
So yeah.
I agree. Can African cichlids be housed with other fish species? This is a very common question. We chose this. A lot of consumers and hobbyists out there want to know what else can they put with African cichlids. Let's see what it says. Housing African cichlids with other fish species can be challenging due to their aggressive and territorial nature, particularly those from great African lakes like Malawi, Tanganyika, and Victoria. Here are some considerations if you're thinking about mixing African cichlids with other fish. African cichlids are known for their aggressive territorial behavior, especially during breeding. They often do best with fish of similar size and temperament. African cichlids require specific water conditions, including high pH and hardness. Any other species housed with them must tolerate these conditions, which limits the types of fish that can comfortably coexist with them. That is very true. Some robust, similarly sized fish that can thrive in similar water conditions might be able to coexist with African cichlids. Examples include, let's see this, certain catfish. Some larger species of Synodontis catfish are a good match as they're bottom dwellers and can avoid much of the cichlid's aggression.
Large catfish, if they can withstand the alkalinity, which there's a lot of them that can, they'll survive a pool of poop. I mean,
yeah.
So you can do large catfish. Just be careful they don't get too big to where they'll start swallowing your cichlids.
Other robust fish, like larger barbs or robust cyprinids that can adapt to similar water conditions and can match the cichlid's assertive nature, might also be suitable.
There are some barbs that get very big, and barbs sometimes, depending on the species, can be nippy and can kind of hold their own, especially if you get a nice group of them. Mm-hmm. They can hold their own.
Yep. A larger aquarium with plenty of hiding spots and territorial boundaries can help reduce conflicts. It is important to provide adequate space to prevent aggressive interactions. That is correct. They're not mentioning sizes. That should be different. It's not giving suggestions, but that is the correct answer. It requires careful consideration of compatibility, tank environment, and ongoing monitoring. It's often recommended to keep them in either species-specific tanks or very select compatible tank mates who can thrive under similar conditions. That is absolutely correct. Spot on.
Are tangs good for a reef tank? Chat says tangs, also known as surgeonfish, are generally excellent additions to many reef tanks due to their vibrant colors and active nature. However, there are several factors to consider to ensure they thrive in a reef environment. Tangs are active swimmers and require large tanks to accommodate their need for space. A minimum tank size of 75 gallons is recommended for smaller species, but larger species will need much more space, often 180 gallons or more. They're exaggerating the sizes a little bit, but you know what? I won't knock it, because the bigger the tank, the better for the fish. Especially on the marine end, the bigger the tank usually, the better it is. You can get away with Tomini tangs or yellow tangs, stuff like that in a 50 or 60 gallon, and they will be fine. But there are plenty of species that need 180 gallons. There's a lot of them. And the most common ones usually, hey, like blue hippo tangs, dory. Yep, 180 gallons, you will need one for a 180 gallon tank. So yeah, I give that a thumbs up. Tangs can be territorial, particularly towards other tangs or similarly shaped fish. It's best to introduce them simultaneously if you plan to keep multiple tangs or choose species from different genuses to minimize aggression. So yeah, tangs are extremely territorial, and especially towards each other. They're really awful towards each other. You can keep them together. You can keep plenty of tangs together. It's just a matter of how big they are, how big the tank is, and when you introduce them to each other. Generally, you want them to be the same size or very close to the same size. Usually, you want like a 180 gallon tank or bigger. It gives them their territories, and one will be on the other side of the tank from each other, and they'll leave each other alone. Also have to make sure that you give them enough food. But yeah, basically it's being very safe with this, and it's telling you that you have to be very careful. So I agree. If it's a pass for asking if they're good for a reef tank, but if this was asking how do you take care of a tang, I would fail it.
That's good.
That's how you would take that question.
This is a phenomenal question. There's a lot of misconceptions. I am reading this for the very first time, the answers, so you'll get my expressions. How do I get aquarium plants to be more red in color? Achieving vibrant red colors in aquarium plants involves several factors that impact their pigmentation. Here are the key strategies to help enhance the red coloration in your aquatic plants. Red plants typically require high high levels of light to develop their full color potential. Look for full spectrum aquarium lights with good output in the red and blue spectrum. LED LED lights that you can adjust to increase intensity or have settings for enhancing red colors can be particularly effective. All right, let's go knock that thing down right away. Plants, all plants are looking for about 15% blue spectrum. So the fact that this thing is saying for good output in the red and blue, I'm having an issue with this. Most of the good aquarium plant lights are going to be 85% pushing in the red spectrum and about 15% in the blue. Right off the bat, this is inaccurate. Also ensure that our nutrients, especially micronutrients, are adequately supplied. However, be careful with nitrogen levels. Lower nitrogen can encourage some plants to turn red. All right, this is where it's completely off, guys. Yes, iron is very important in the photosynthesis part, and you need it as part of your micronutrients. But iron usually helps a lot of green plants stay nice and green, like swords. So that is wrong so far, 2 for 2. Number 3, carbon dioxide. Adding CO2 to your aquarium can significantly boost the growth and color intensity of your plants. CO2 supplementation helps plants synthesize more sugars, which can enhance their overall health and vibrancy, including red pigmentation. Yes, that is correct. CO2 will help red plants turn redder, but that's also because they're metabolizing more nitrates and reducing the available nitrates, and when the plant goes into a low nitrate level, that's when the reds come out. It is true you need CO2, just didn't give the rest of the story. I will say it missed half the questions, so it's going to be a fail. There's more to this. But then again, the information out there on the internet is actually not all that good. And if you think about how AI works, it works by combing the internet, and there's a lot of published articles from the 70s and 80s and 90s still out there that did not fully understand how red plants become red. So that one is going to be a fail.
How long should I wait to add coral to my saltwater aquarium, and why? Chat says when setting up a new saltwater aquarium, it's crucial to wait before adding coral to ensure the tank is fully cycled and stable. The cycling process typically takes about 4 to 8 weeks, but this can vary depending on various factors such as tank size, the equipment used, and methods employed to initiate the cycle. Here's why it's important to wait and how to know when your tank is ready for coral. Number 1, cycling the tank. The first and most important phase is cycling the tank, which involves establishing a biological filter that can convert harmful ammonia into nitrite and then turn this into less harmful nitrate. Yes, it is true that you need to cycle your tank first. You need to add a source of ammonia and then bacteria. So, yeah, you have to do that. So after the initial cycling, it's important to regularly test the water parameters: ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, pH, specific gravity, aka salinity, alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. For corals, particularly sensitive parameters including nitrate and phosphate levels, as well as maintaining proper calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium for coral health and growth. Yes, and you'll have to dose. You have to keep all these parameters in check.
Correct.
That's a pass. Water stability. So corals are sensitive to changes in water quality and parameters. A newly set up tank can experience fluctuations in water chemistry as it matures. It's crucial to ensure that the water parameters have not only reached the appropriate levels, but are also stable over a period of time. Waiting to add corals until your aquarium has been properly cycled and has stabilized is crucial for ensuring the health of corals and the overall success of your reef. Patience during the initial phase pays off with a healthier, more vibrant marine environment in the long run. True. So...
All right, so overall, it answered the question correct.
They got the answer right.
Does adding hiding spots in a fish tank make the fish hide more? Here's how hiding spots impact fish behavior. Reduce stress. Fish naturally seek places to hide whenever they feel threatened or stressed. Having readily available hiding spots can reduce stress levels, making fish less prone to disease and more likely to exhibit natural behaviors.
True.
True. Encourages natural behavior. Providing structures like caves, plants, and other hiding spots encourages fish to engage in natural behaviors such as exploring and breeding and foraging. This can lead to a healthier, more active lifestyle.
True.
True. Lastly, breeding. Some fish species require secluded spots to breed or lay eggs. Hiding places like dense plants or caves can facilitate the breeding process and provide a safe area for fry to survive.
True.
Overall, while fish might initially seem to hide more when hiding spots are introduced. These structures are crucial for their overall health and stress management. Over time, fish with adequate hiding spots are generally more confident and active within their environment.
That was the most accurate explanation it's given so far. It didn't have a single fault in it.
You know, that's a question that I think gleaned over for a lot of information from fresh and saltwater. But if you notice, when we're going into more detailed or fish specific, it struggles a little bit.
Why are saltwater tanks so expensive? Yes, they are.
Why are they?
So chat says, setting up and maintaining saltwater aquariums can be significantly more expensive than a freshwater tank due to several factors. Number one, equipment costs. Saltwater aquariums require more specialized equipment, for example, protein skimmers, powerful lighting. Some systems and more sophisticated filtration systems are often necessary to maintain water quality and support the diverse life typically kept in saltwater tanks. Saltwater aquariums often use live rock, which serves both as a biological filter and as a naturalistic element. Live rock and high-quality substrate can be costly, especially since a significant amount is needed to effectively set up a new tank. Saltwater tanks require precise water chemistry management. This involves regular testing and adjusting of parameters like pH, salinity, nitrate, phosphate, calcium, and alkalinity. These factors combine to make saltwater aquariums a more costly endeavor, both in the terms of initial setup and ongoing maintenance. However, many enthusiasts find the vibrant beauty and diversity of saltwater tanks to be worth the extra investment. Yeah, saltwater tanks are very expensive, and it kind of gave you an idea of what you're dealing with.
I would give that a pass.
I give that a pass.
All right, guys, we're closing out with a freshwater question. Can I add shrimp to a newly set up freshwater tank? Adding shrimp to a newly set up freshwater tank is generally not recommended. Wow. And by the way, I'm reading this for the first time. Shrimp are sensitive to changes in water parameters and can be particularly vulnerable in new aquarium setups that haven't fully completed the nitrogen cycle. It's crucial to ensure the tank has gone through a complete nitrogen cycle. This process typically takes 4 to 8 weeks. During this time, beneficial bacteria develop and stabilize, converting harmful ammonium nitrite into less harmful nitrate. Ammonium nitrite should be at 0 and nitrate should be low, correct. Also ensure that the pH and hardness are within the range suitable for the type of shrimp you plan to keep. So far, so good. In conclusion, waiting until your aquarium is fully cycled and stable not only increases the survival rate of the shrimp, but also helps in establishing healthy, thriving shrimp population. If in doubt, it's always better to wait a bit longer to ensure the environment is as safe as possible for these sensitive invertebrates.
True.
Wow. So that was interesting. It did better on kind of general, is my tank safe? Can I add this? I think it hit it well. It struggled with specific, like the angels. That was really a tough one. If everything on the internet was correct, it would be correct. But it goes to show you that there's a lot of bad information out there.
Yeah, it got some crucial things there wrong, just like I do remember it doing the first time, so no surprise. It is AI after all, and the internet.
So with that being said, guys, always do your homework. Talk to a live person if in doubt, right? That's going to be our closing part. AI is no replacement for human experience and human common sense. As always, we're gonna thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support. Feel free to use that comment sections below. Give us your suggestions. Tell us what other videos you want to see. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And have an outstandingly great day, guys.